the most explosive resignation in Washington since this war began. Joe Kent, President Trump's own director of the National Counterterrorism Center, has quit, and his resignation letter is a bombshell. Kent wrote, and I am quoting directly, "Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. It is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. This is not a Democrat saying this. This is not a journalist saying this. This is a Trump-appointed counterterrorism official who had access to every classified intelligence brief, every threat assessment, every piece of intelligence on Iran, saying publicly that this war was not started because Iran was a threat. It was started because of lobby pressure. This changes the entire political conversation around this war. Subscribe and hit the bell right now." Trump's own counterterrorism director just said this war started because of the Israel lobby, not because Iran was a threat. This is the most significant insider statement of the entire conflict. You need to hear every word. To understand why this resignation is significant, you need to understand who Joe Kent is. Kent is not a career bureaucrat. He is a retired U.S. Army Special Forces officer, Green Beret, who did multiple combat tours in Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan. He lost his wife Shannon Kent, also a decorated intelligence officer, in a suicide bombing in Syria in 2019. He knows better than almost anyone in Washington what it actually costs when the United States goes to war. Trump appointed Kent to lead the National Counterterrorism Center because of his military credentials and his America First alignment. Kent was seen as one of the most trusted national security figures inside the Trump administration. He had full access to every intelligence product on Iran. He sat in every classified briefing. And after seeing all of it, he resigned. And he said Iran was not a threat. Kent posted his resignation letter publicly on X, and it is worth reading in detail. He wrote, "I cannot in good conscience continue to serve in this role. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby." He went further, blaming what he called an echo chamber of media figures and high-ranking Israeli officials and lobbyists who he said were used to deceive Trump into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat and that there was a clear path to a swift victory. His final line, "This echo chamber convinced you that this was a war we could win quickly. It is not." Kent explicitly invoked the memory of his wife Shannon, who died in a U.S. military operation, as his reason for speaking out. He said he owed it to her, and to every service member now in harm's way, to tell the truth. Trump's response came within hours. Speaking to reporters at the White House, Trump dismissed Kent, calling him, quote, "a nice guy but always weak on security." Trump disputed Kent's claim that Iran posed no threat, insisting that Iran was actively developing nuclear weapons and had funded attacks on American allies. The White House press secretary issued a statement calling Kent's resignation letter riddled with inaccuracies and saying Kent's performance had been disappointing. But notably, the White House did not release any specific intelligence to contradict Kent's central claim. They called him weak. They called him wrong. But they did not show the evidence that Iran was an imminent threat, the very evidence Kent says does not exist. The political and legal implications of Kent's resignation are enormous, and they will grow. Kent is not the first Trump official to have reservations about this war, but he is the first to go public with such a specific and explosive claim. If Iran posed no imminent threat, and a man with top-secret clearance and direct access to all the intelligence says it did not, then the legal justification for this war becomes deeply questionable. Under U.S. law, the president can only initiate military action without a congressional declaration of war if there is an imminent threat or a national emergency. Kent is directly undermining that legal foundation, and his letter is already being cited by at least 14 members of Congress, Republican and Democrat, who are calling for hearings. Senator Rand Paul called Kent's letter the most important document produced by this administration. The legal and political fallout from this resignation is just beginning. Trump's own counterterrorism director, a Green Beret who lost his wife in combat, just quit and said this war started because of lobby pressure, not because Iran was a threat. Whether you agree with Kent or not, this is the most consequential insider statement of this entire conflict. Congress is already calling for hearings. The legal foundation of the war is now being challenged from inside the administration itself. Subscribe right now. This story is not finished. We will be back the moment new developments break. Stay safe.